This episode is sponsored by Renaissance Inc., the best place to find all original content, music, videos, short films, podcasts, and art. Visit Renaissance.com to listen, view, consume, and license high-quality content. Renaissance.com.
An audio experience best enjoyed in stereo. The Huckleberry Show!
Welcome to the Huckleberry Show. I am your Huckleberry, John Claiborne. Episode number 1. Let's talk about observation and awareness. Let's have a conversation about why we need to improve it. What happens if we don't? Oh, let's go. The Huckleberry Show. Yeah. So let me just start off first and foremost by explaining why I call this the Huckleberry Show in the first place, because that's mighty strange. Even for me, I'm just like, that's random as hell. Why? And I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, the Huckleberry Show. So it has a lot of things people remember with that word, like the Huckleberry Hound Show, that cartoon show from Hanna-Barbera. That was fun. Some people might remember Huckleberry Finn from Mark Twain and all those stories. That's fun. But I remember it from Tombstone, a 1993 film starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer. And this movie was a cowboy flick set in the Old West. Probably like, these were real folks. So it was like 1800s, right? So Huckleberry back then was a real word people actually used. But in this film, I actually have clips too. I have clips like I'm on I'm on a talk show. I don't know what I'm doing. I have clips explaining what I'm talking about because this character, his name is Val Kilmer. Well, the character is played by Val Kilmer. His name is Doc Holliday. Well, he says these lines to this same guy. His name is Ringo, who always tries to pick a fight with people except him. So he's always been trying to call him out this whole movie. Let me play the clip. The Ringo's drunk, and he's looking for a fight. Listen.
Wretched slugs. Don't any of you have the guts to play for blood?
I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game.
That's just my game. So yeah, he's looking for a fight. Don't nobody want it except Doc Holliday. And that's like the only man Ringo don't want it with. He's like, anybody but him. Anybody else. I'm your Huckleberry. Look, no. Okay, you're my Huckleberry. No. So he says it again later in the movie. He's looking for a fight with Wyatt Earp. He says it again. Listen.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your Huckleberry. Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Walked over your grave. Yeah. So that's something to say to somebody. Like, I'm your Huckleberry. Somebody's looking for something, looking for a fight, looking for trouble. Shoot, I'm your Huckleberry. So I just thought that would be a fun thing to call a podcast. And a fun thing to say at the beginning of every episode. I get to say, I'm your Huckleberry, John Claiborne. So yeah, random I know, but I mean, it's just it's not. We're not gonna take this extra super serious. It's a podcast. We're having fun with this, okay? Huckleberry Show. All right, let's go. So, observation and awareness. Now that we've gotten the formalities out of the way. Observation and awareness. So why is this important? Why are we having a conversation about it? Well, because obviously it is the foundation of why anything learns anything. So you take humans, babies, animals and their babies, everything comes into the world knowing nothing but DNA instincts. That's it. So our observations is our data collection for us of our worldly world around us. So whether it be we live in a city or whether we're a tiger living in the jungle, we are immediately observing everything, taking in sounds, sight, the smell of the air, tasting things. Oh, that's the hot dog stand that tastes like that. Oh, that's the sandwich shop that has the bomb cheese that tastes like that. And we're collecting this data as we go about our daily life and putting it together so that way in the future we know that red light means stop. We know that car honk means something, danger, caution, watch out. I don't know, scary something's about to happen. So that clues us in around the world that we live in. So observation and awareness is super crazy important, but a lot of people are missing out. My experience with it is mainly more of like observing things and people around me and noting that they're not observing me back. Like, have you ever walked in a room or just walked somewhere, walked in a store and like glanced around and kind of just counted heads or just made a note of just a quick glance of people in the room, in the vicinity, but notice that like nobody looked up at you or nobody, it's like, and then you walk up next to somebody and they'll be like, oh, you scared me. And be like, yeah, I saw that you never looked up at me. You just walking around here and you didn't even look up to see who was around you. That's observation and awareness. They were not very observant and weren't aware that I had just walked past. I'm just walking, but I totally had scared this person because they weren't expecting a person to be there because they were on their phone or they weren't paying attention. So observation is important for me also for safety. I'm crossing the street. I'm walking, when I park at the office, I'm, 2 miles away at least for the closest parking. This place is crazy. So I'm walking. There's dogs. There's cars. There's guys with their leaf blower. These dudes they don't even watch. They'll just turn around and just blow a whole dust cloud right in your face and just be like, oh well, you saw me, I guess. So we got to watch for them and like cross the street or something and get away. But no, observation is very important for just safety reasons. But I definitely use it for people watching. And everybody people watches, right? Like it's fun to people watch. So it's easy to just go about your daily life and just look at people and be like, oh, look at this funny clothes that person's wearing. Oh, look at this dude. His arms are huge, but his head is little and stuff like that. But no, that's entertainment value. I don't people watch to get entertainment value. I will do it for so I'm a music producer, right? And I have a music production company. Well, we sell merch. We sell t-shirts. So when I people watch, I'm looking at people like, what colors are people mostly wearing? What is on their t-shirts that they're mostly putting on them? Like, what are they? Anime characters? Are they funny sayings? Are they just company logos? And so I'm people watching, but I'm like data collecting. I'm out here like Google and Apple collecting your ad data as you walk around. So, yeah, that's observation and awareness, though. That's being observant that I'm out here in a modern society, out in a modern place, in public, checking out, people's broad t-shirt buying habits. Just casually walking around instead of just mindlessly on my phone. Why don't I look around and do some data collecting, and maybe this will help me make a better decision about my t-shirts later in the future or whatnot. Like, that's observation and awareness as far as business trends go. So you can like walk through hallways and catch half of a conversation. If you do that often enough, and you collect half a conversation here, half a conversation there, now you've got somebody's whole strategy where you could either offer your advice, offer your help. Like, hey, look, I see what you're trying to do. I can offer this for you. Boom. Next thing you know, you got a gig. You got a job. just based on the fact that you were clued in about your surroundings, your work environment. You knew what was going on around you to be able to jump on an opportunity and be like, hey, they're looking for somebody. I am somebody. Let me just introduce myself real quick. I've done that plenty of times where it's like they didn't know me, I didn't know them, but I knew they were looking for something that I could probably offer. And also, speaking of which, being a music producer, this podcast will have music in and throughout all over the place. And each episode, I want to feature a new song. So in this song, we have Light the Way. It's by a group of young ladies by the name of Becky Lava and CK Jones Music. And I helped produce it. I helped mix. Well, I did mix this one. This was like one of the only songs I helped them mix with. But it's dope. I think you guys should check it out. I'm going to play music often, so listen up.
Shine on. I know that you can't wait to see me fall. Now I'm gonna shine on you, baby, and light the way. Shine on. I know that you can't wait to see me fall. Now I'm gonna shine on you, baby, and light the way. Hey. Spreading all your pain for glory. Spreading all the secrets I told you. I know that you're not gonna bring me down with all you hate, with all your fears. Spreading all my peace, I'm holy. I told you that you're not gonna bring me down. Higher than the sky and the sun now. I'm on my way up, way up. Shine on.
Yeah, that song's dope. I love this song. I could listen to this song all day, every day. If you want to check the song out, there's a link. There'll be a link on the website associated with this episode. Go ahead and click on that and check it out. But back on topic of observation and awareness. Actually, I want to touch on just real quick on what this show is going to be about, or this whole podcast. Because as you're tuning in, you're listening. It's like, okay, this is cool. But what other future episodes gonna look like? Well, I have like a little outline. Let me bring it up. So I have a little outline here about like how I want to run the podcast. So basically, the whole gist of the reason for having it is I have 5 things that each podcast episode will revolve around, and that's conversation, critique, explanation, or a story. So out of those, and those are 4. Those are actually 4. I thought I had 5. That's 4. So basically what it means is each podcast episode will be one of those 4. So conversation will be, how or why. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the hard stuff. Let's go back and forth about what is what and why we should and who should not. Critique is more of my opinion and suggestions on things. That might be like a movie. That may be like social behavior. That might be anything. Music. Explanation would be more of just me explaining something that I know about, which could be like mainly music, stuff like that, or maybe just explaining my lifestyle habits. I'll maybe like explain my budget and fitness ideas. And then story will just be a story, just entertainment. Let me tell you a story about something funny that happened, something crazy that happened, wild stuff. So, you could expect that from each episode. It'll be one of those 4 or all mixed in between. And we're going to cover a lot of things. We're going to talk about art, society. We're going to talk about sex, money, business, like I said, movies, music, cars, tech, science. I'm into all of that. But what we're not going to talk so much about is like politics, religion, aliens, sports, stuff that causes like family to fight each other over mashed potatoes, stuff that shouldn't come up at weird times. You're at Chuck E. Cheese and your uncle's over there fighting over their fantasy teams. Like, come on, like we're gonna keep it chill over here, real chill. Video games though, I'm real big into video games. Nintendo Switch right now. Or we're gonna talk about some Nintendo Switch. We might even play some online games, see what we get popping. But I digress. Let's get back on topic. I got a couple more things to talk about with this observation and awareness. So in being aware of what it is, I have to practice observation and awareness every day. Like, it's not something that you could just be like gifted at. Like, anybody can do it. You just have to practice it because, I mean, every animal has to have it for survival instincts. Like a bird. If a bird isn't, flying around and checking out the ground and looking for bugs and berries to eat, he's going to starve to death. And then at the same time, somebody like a gazelle. A gazelle can't just be romping around the African safari willy-nilly eating grass. Like, he has to be aware and observe, like, hey, this is usually when lions come out because, old Billy and Aunt Jessie got, taken down yesterday right around this area, right around this time. So observation and awareness is in every single biological creature. You just have to exercise it. So what I like to do is go for the hands-free approach. And that is like walk around with nothing in my hands. I'll throw everything in my man bag, my little satchel, my man purse. I don't care. Throw everything in there. And I just walk around with my hands free. Now I'm free to grab something. If something falls, I'm free to defend myself, slap somebody if I need to, block, hit, run, catch, point. Hey, watch out, It's crazy how free it feels to have nothing in your hands. It's tempting to have a smartphone in your hand and your Starbucks and all this other stuff that we have and cram it in our daily life. But it's amazing when you have nothing in your hands, though. If you could find somewhere to put that stuff or just not do that stuff, it's just crazy. So I go around with my hands free, and that frees up my eyes to look around. That frees my ears to listen. So I'm in full observation and awareness mode, like walking home, walking to my car, from my car, everywhere I go, I'm in full observation mode because I practice the hands free, and that engages my senses. And then the next step is to be curious. If you're observing, you're like a detective. You got to be curious. Like, what's that guy doing over there? Well, who is it? Why is that box sitting there? Why is that car driving in that direction at that speed? Like, yeah, you got to be curious about why you're observing things in your surroundings. So it's not just looking around, like I said, for entertainment value. It's for taking in data, like how we have wildfires. Now it's commonplace for a California resident to go outside and look up at the sky and check the condition of the sky. Is it smoggy today? Is it a wildfire today? Is it raining today? Like, it's so much characteristic in a California sky that you got to be observing. You can't just walk around with your head down in your phone when there's a wildfire like right across the highway from where you live. Like, that can happen. So it's all just about practicing it and then, using that data once you get it and practice using it. And I don't know. It's one of those foundational things that once I've started really honing in on it, that it really changes a lot for you. Like, you really see opportunities everywhere and you're able to seize on things a lot quicker than a lot of people. And you're just like one step ahead of everybody, just kind of easily and naturally at some point. But no, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Like, how do you guys practice your observation and awareness? Or what crazy things have you observed and been aware of that you were just like one step ahead of the curve and everybody was just like dumbfounded? So let me know. Go to the website, thehuckleberryshow.com. Email me your comments, your suggestions, your questions. I'm going to read some. Also, follow the conversation on Twitter over at Huckleberry Show on Twitter. and we'll be tweeting, and I'll be doing all kinds of stuff like that. And you can follow the conversation for each episode, and it'll be a fun time to do that on Twitter. And then just, let me know suggestions on what you have for like other episodes and whatnot. But the next episode will be fun as well. So stay tuned.